Hello, hello, hello. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? I don't know because I'm up here by myself. Um, how's everybody doing today? Hey, Amy. I see Amy down there. Okay, let me put that in there. Oh, it's a nice sunny afternoon, isn't it? Nice sunny afternoon. But listen. I'm just going live real quick. I know there's only just you and me, Amy. Just you and me. Um, I'm just going to jump into it because this was kind of weighing on my mind today. There's been a lot going on in the YouTube world, a lot going on in my personal, my private life, so to speak, life off of YouTube. Hey, Brandy J. Hey, Jenna. PJ Wish. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling better now. Look, man, my kiddo came home with that daggone flu bug again. Oh my goodness, he was sick, and a few hours later, I was sick. Oh my goodness, I was out for a couple days. I was laying pretty low. But I'm better now. Still just tired, but I'm better now. Hey, Charlie girl. Um, but the whole, mental health crisis, guys, I've been thinking about this. Um, I see very clearly how we're at the mental health crisis. I see it from a front row seat personally. We've got a couple kiddos um, through adoption. They have some major issues, and we have been fighting like hell to get help for them. And I realized today, as I was having to call and schedule an appointment, and I was talking to one of the counselors, that we finally were able to get after years of begging for help and searching. And, um, we finally get into a psychologist, finally, right? Guys, this psychologist is hours from us because there is no one in our vicinity, and we're in a big area that has availability. And so we have to go on the computer and chat with her. Um, which is good. So at least it's something, but it's still not what we're needing. And we're begging for help as parents to be able to help our child, our children. Um, hey, Jenna.
Hey, I just gotta run to the store, so I'm
Hey.
gonna
Oh, okay. Hey,
cause
same chick. She's in here. Nikki. Um, yeah, I'm just talking. It just dawned on me about the mental health crisis that everybody talks about. And he's like, I just got a front row seat to it. I'm telling you. Begging for years to get some help. And like I said, we thought we were in there pretty good now, finally, and it's a little stepping stone is all that it is. We got the frou fluff is what I call it. Um, Counselor that goes to the school and sees the kiddos, and that's it. And then once a month we go in and we have a meeting with the psychologist via computer, internet, um, because the closest one that has availability is about 5 hours away. And this is after years of begging for help. And when you do adoption, there is supposed to be even more help for you. Um, they have post adoption services, so that when you do have these moments where you're like, hey, we're just not cutting it here, we need help, um, fighting like hell to help our kids, and we're at a loss because there are some serious issues, out of our control that happened prior to us getting them. And when you're still dealing with that, you're not getting the help that you need. So we're in a struggle for it, and I see that mental health thing is a struggle, y'all. It's bad. Um, really trying with that, trying to see get that help out there, get the kiddos in a better place. Um, I feel like I'm just fighting to make sure that my kids don't end up in prison or something. You know, um, because it's some of the stuff that's going on is pretty rough. And I'm like, look, this is not gonna you're not gonna be on a good path if we don't deviate them from this. And we're trying, guys. We really are. We're really, pushing for some help there, but it is hard to get that right now, especially for children. It's really hard. Just the services aren't out there. And some of the doctors that we called, they're not taking new patients, or they're no longer practicing. I mean, it's nuts. Um, so that's where we're at with that. And it just, I was just thinking about that with all this stuff that's going on in the YouTube streets, and like I said, in real life, and it's just like, wow. Um, I know on the YouTube streets we've had some issues lately. And Jenna, are you still there? Or are you just not able to?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. We have recently had an issue on the YouTube streets, and I think a lot of people are aware of that there is a mental health crisis perhaps going on with a certain individual. And as the same with my kids, I don't want to be the deciding, I don't want to be the one that pokes and prods them and makes the situation worse, which I think any parent fears that, right? I mean, like, you want to help your child. You don't want to make the situation worse, but then, okay, what do you do? What do you do? And like the situation that we have, I'm not gonna say any names, because if you know, you know. Um, I personally, I'm just gonna put it out there, whether we think that an issue is really going on or not, whether we think the person is lying, it doesn't matter what our opinion is. All we can do is go on what someone says, and kind of go on what you're saying, if the truth be told, right? I personally, I'm just going to say it because there's been some questions directed, and I'm just going to put it out there that I am not on board with continuing to go at someone who may be in a mental health crisis or have some mental issues going on, who is may claim that they're a victim of something or whatever. Um, I get it to be exposing pedos, and addressing issues that, hey, somebody said this and it wasn't appropriate, that there is concerns of why they would say that. I get that, but I don't think that once you expose it and you see where that leads to and what's happening, I do not think that it's okay to continue to go into chats and talk about it, fire up a live and go at it. That's just my personal opinion. Um, I'm just saying I don't want to be associated with that. And I guess maybe it's because I do have such a close connection with mental health issues. Because, like I said, I do have some kiddos that are going through things, and it is what it is. I just don't want to be the one to antagonize it and egg it on. However one wants to look at it. So if that means that you don't want to support either of my channels, because we've got this channel, and then my sister and I have the other channel, I'm okay with that. I am completely okay if you don't want to support my channels. Come up on my panel, because I may have a difference of opinion than someone else does. It's okay. I'm completely secure in that, because I am secure enough in my thoughts and where my views are on that. I can agree to disagree with someone. I'm okay with that. If you can't agree to disagree with me, then that's on you. So that's where I stand with that. So if anybody has any questions, just direct them to this video, to this live. If the little red light is on, we're live. If not, you're catching the replay. Haha. But yeah, that's where I stand with it. I will not speak for anyone else on this subject matter, unless someone asks me to. Then I could tell you, but I'm not going to voice anyone else's opinion. This is just solely my opinion. Do you have anything you want to say, Jenna?
Yeah, I will not go at KK either. Do I agree with what she said? No, I don't agree with it. Um, but I am in sorry, I'm in no way trying to victimize her. The comment that she made was my triggering point, and the people that she surrounded herself with. Um, I understand there is a lot of mental issues that's going on there. Um, and I don't want to have that on my conscience if something happens. That's just me. I do think that she needs to seek help off of YouTube if something like that is going on. But I did not do that to her. And it really wasn't just her. It was just the fact of her where these people come from and of her saying certain things. So yeah, I won't. And y'all know, I don't want no one to. I don't care how much I dislike somebody. I hate no one. So
Yeah, and it's not about liking or disliking. And Purple, this is not directed towards you at all. You can't get rid of me that easily. No, 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 no. No, it's just that when you get a message that, hey, I'm not going to be in your channel anymore, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's okay. You don't have to be. And like I said, I am stubborn enough and I will dig my heels in on this. Because if you stand up and claim that you are for victims, that's what your stand is, right? That's what your platform is, which is part of my platform. Okay.
I'm driving. Okay,
Um,
so you'll drop the link
you,
for Charlie Girl just in case I lose service.
oh, I don't know. Is she gonna come up? She gonna come up? Hold on, I'll drop it. Hold on.
I just don't
Just in
want to
case.
lose service and then you be up here by yourself.
Oh, it's okay. Um, I dropped it again. But like I said, I'm okay with that. If I'm okay with you not wanting to be in my chat or on my panel. I got you. You know, at the point when someone says they were a victim of exactly what your stand is for, um, and on this channel we are survivors of some pretty rough things. Okay. Fighting for children, I do very strongly, firmly believe that every single one of us should be a child advocate. We are the adults. Children are powerless and they need the adults to stand up and speak up and say that's wrong. They need the protection. And if they're not getting it from their parents, then by God, they need to get it from somebody else. And it doesn't hurt that everyone is united on the fact that we should protect children and warn each other that, hey, this person's bad, they're doing this, they've done that, blah, blah, blah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just helping keeping the children safe. So, with that said, if I'm out here and I'm saying that I'm for victim rights, this, that, and the other, when somebody, stands up and says that something happened to them, at that point, it does not matter what they've said, because at that point, we don't know why they're saying what they're saying. There could be a lot of reasons why someone has said something. For instance, if something happened to you as a child, and I know this firsthand. This happened to one of my sisters, okay? That it was told she was sexually promiscuous. So, what does that do to a person's mental? Okay, if you look at this from a psychological standpoint, the mind does really crazy things. So, if you are told that as a child, and this has happened to you from someone you're supposed to trust, but you know what? The other person you're supposed to trust is telling you, well, you're sexually promiscuous, basically you brought this on. Well, when you get older, what would your thoughts be? Perhaps you would still be thinking that way if, you know what, that was partly my fault. So if you're told that something that happened to you is your fault, then it's not a far stretch for someone to grow up thinking that, and for them to go, hey, wait a minute though, maybe this child did something. I'm not saying it's right. I do not agree with that at all. However, looking at it from a psychological standpoint, there's a lot of things mentally that people, I'm just saying, guys, some people need help with that. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be cruel, just saying that there may be a need for some counseling on that one. And like I said, people can agree or disagree. I really don't care. It is what it is. Um, the mind is a powerful thing. And when we're programmed a certain way, as in all kinds of abuse situations, you're programmed to think a certain way. Sometimes that programming sticks around for a long, long time. So, anyhow, at the point where someone stands up and says that they're a victim, then that is the one that you're supposed to be advocating for. Even if you don't like how they process things, and something that they said is like, hey, 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 that's wrong. Stop and think. Maybe there's a reason why they said that. Whether we can understand it, whether we agree with it or not, it doesn't matter. And you can think that maybe they're playing a game. All we can do is go by what the person has said in their words. So that's where I stand with that one. So no, Purple, it's just, in general, a couple things that ended up in my lap today that I didn't really appreciate, but it is what it is. And, people can think I'm rude. They can think I'm being mean. They can think whatever. When it comes to a victim of anything, I don't think there's rudeness, and rude part is coming in when you don't want to stop and think about where they're coming from. As dysfunctional as it may seem, you have to stop and ask these questions. And I've been kind of stopping and thinking and asking these questions about KK. Because I'm like, why in the world? She says she doesn't support, she's against it, but why is she saying this? Right? Because it's kind of like, well, have you done something you don't want to get caught? And then it's like, wait a minute, no. Maybe she really has been through some stuff. I'm not going to sit here and call her a liar. She says that she has. Who knows what was told to her when those things happened? And no offense, but she is older. And back then, it was a different time. I mean, even in 2023, you still have people that are saying crap like that. We hear it on the YouTube streets. It's that old way of thinking, right? That old school thinking that it's somehow the child's fault. I don't care if the child threw themselves at that adult. It is still considered against the law, and they're going to do time. So I'm just saying, in my opinion, I'm not going to jump on someone's channel, on their panel, and go at KK. I do think we have to stop and pull ourselves back for a moment and get off the emotional roller coaster ride, because this subject matter is very emotional. I get that. It's emotional for a lot of us. But if we cannot stop and go, wait a second, we all get caught up in the moment. I get it. But there are some times when you have to stop and pull yourself back and say, hold on a second. How could this be damaging to somebody else? KK is saying that she's on the edge, right? Do you want to be the one to prod her over the edge? I sure as hell do not. And it's nobody's place to say whether she's playing games or not. Only to take her for the word that she says. If I'm wrong for that, I'm wrong for that, guys. But I'll still stand, and I'm standing my ground on that one. Yeah, PJ, that's true. The mind has a way of protecting until the person is strong enough to see and try to understand, then healing can come. Exactly. And that's all of us. It's all of us, right? Um, I know there's things that I get set in my ways on, and I have to pull myself back and go, wait a minute, let me see the other side here. Am I incorrect in my thinking? Do I need to alter my thinking a little bit? You know, um, like with my kiddos, I'm hardcore mama. Okay. Am I being too strict with them? Because of my desperation to try to correct their behaviors, am I too tough on them? Is a 2-week restriction too long? Is a month restriction too long? And even though it may seem that the punishment fits the crime, having to take into account where they're at mentally, what's going on with them, why they're acting this way. There's a lot of things that play a role in that, right? Whether we would like to admit it or not, there's a lot of things that play a role in it. And having to step back and really look at the whole picture, it is really hard. And it is hard to understand. And just to see where they're coming from, why they're doing these behaviors. It's true of children and adults, all of us, right? I mean, I know I got issues, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all know I don't know of any one human being that doesn't. That doesn't have something that triggers them, or something that they're overly passionate about, perhaps, or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know. I just can't. Well, cinnamon. Yeah. I just hope that she gets help. Um, I really, my heart goes out to anybody who's experienced anything that she's experienced. Um, hey, Charlie girl.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good, doing good. What you doing?
Well, just, come to put my 2 cents worth in. You get what
Okay.
you pay for.
Oh yeah. Well, I only got a penny, so it's gonna be good.
I mean, nobody is saying that, because there's been several people that have clapped back at KK, and rightfully so, but
Mhm.
nobody is saying that you have to agree with what KK's saying, or that you have to accept what she's saying, but you just have to step back and look at the whole picture to see if mentally, if she's even able to have the correct thoughts about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what
It's
you're
not
saying.
whether she's right or wrong at this point. When someone says, that those signs are there, and they voice um, that they're even seeing themselves regress or whatever, you have to use some humility and grace and say, well, you know, the subject matter is, you still have the same opinion about that. But then you have to step back and let that person be that person and have those thoughts about that subject matter, because you're not going to change it.
No, no, you're not going to change
I
KK's
don't
thought process.
know, and I don't know that. I don't know what I was getting ready to say.
Well, and I mean, somebody wants to fire up alive and go at KK, and no matter how you do it, it's going to look like you're going at her. right?
Mhm.
That's completely up to them. You know what? It's fine. You do what you want to do. I'm not trying to tell anybody not to do it. What I'm saying is I cannot support that. I do
Right.
not want to be associated with that.
Right.
And I understand she has said some really vile, triggering things. I get it.
Can I say something? And I'm sorry, I don't mean to open any wounds for you or your sister at all. But I feel like this is maybe a good comparison. Um, a lot of people don't speak up when they're having a mental crisis or when they're having thoughts of harming.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I know that you would give anything if your brother had said something and reached out.
Exactly. Yes, I would. And to think that if somebody had said, "Oh, you're just playing a game."
Yes. And you know
Yeah.
what? She may be playing a game, but that is not for me to decide.
No.
I'm going
All
to
you
take it
can do,
serious every single time.
exactly, all you can do is take the words that she's saying.
Yeah.
So, like I say, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell someone, don't fire up a lot, don't do this, don't do that. I mean, that's on you. I'm just telling you, I'm not going to support that. I cannot do it. I don't want to be associated with it at all. If you're pro victim, right, and you're pro for somebody who's had some horrendous things happen to them, whether you like it or not, that, to me, that's where my basis is. That's where my home base is. So as soon as they say, hey, I'm a victim, all right, hold on. Give them a little, like you said, give them some grace. Entertain the thought that maybe that's exactly why their train of thought is the way it is right now,
Mm-hmm.
as twisted as it seems.
Because not everybody's able to recover and come back from stuff that happened.
Exactly. Or if you do have parents that tell you, try to blame you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it happened to my sister. I promise you. She does understand that it's wrong, but I could easily see how she would be like, well, because she had been told that and had been led to believe that it was partly her fault. Well, if you're led to believe it's partly your fault, then I very easily can see where someone can transfer that over to, well, it must be that child's fault.
Right.
Doesn't make it right. I do not agree with it at all. Putting it out there. And like I said, if that's the situation, I really hope she gets help and that she can understand that no child deserves that. No
Exactly.
child brings that on.
In no
The-
way are any of
No.
us saying, oh, well, let her, have her opinions on, we're not saying that what she is saying is correct and right. We're just saying that you have to be careful because you don't want to be the reason that someone takes it too far.
Exactly. We always say, you hear that all the time.
Ink, I am so proud of you, woman. So proud of you.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really awesome. I was like, oh, okay, so maybe I'm not too far off on my train of thought here.
Yeah.
A victim of what? Savannah, all we can do is go on what she said. And I can't make a judgment call whether it's the truth or not. I don't know. I don't know the details of her situation. Nor do I really want to. It's okay. It's her story. But when someone does say something happened to them, then we kind of have to stand up and listen to that for just a moment. Like I said, it's not our judgment whether they're playing games or not. And I think a lot of people could watch certain videos and go, that person may be mentally unstable. What's going on?
And in no way is this a jab at KK for us. You know, you have to go with your gut. You have to look for signs and watch your own actions so that you don't provoke anything. I would much rather know that she or I would much rather handle it this way than to continue calling her out and realizing that there was some problems there, and I was part of that problem.
Exactly. I would rather find out she was playing games.
Yes, that's what I was trying
And
to say. I couldn't get
yeah,
it.
yeah, I'd rather find out she's playing games and we still stood down and said, hey, you know,
Mhm.
and that's okay. You know, you find out she says, oh, I was playing games, I lied, blah, blah, blah. Okay, game on, let's roll, you know. But yeah, and like I said, you can only take it at face value. You can only take it for the words that she's spoken. And that's all you can do, in my opinion. In my opinion, you know. And like I said, I'm not gonna hate on somebody else because they're gonna go at her, they're gonna say whatever, you know, hey, that's on you. And that's, if you're okay with that, and you're good with you, that's all that matters. Nobody else has to be good with you. Only you. Only I have to be good with me, and I'm just not good with me doing that.
Yeah. Savannah, you know, that's true. There are a lot of people that use their personal situations and things that have happened to them to their advantage, but I am not going to be the judge, juror, and executioner because it's not my place.
Yeah. And I'll say this, Savannah, I don't necessarily think she's getting away with any of it. I do believe on that live Purple was playing that she was saying um, that nobody talks to her, nobody's doing this or that or whatever. Um, I do strongly believe that the majority of people who do watch her and hear her words do understand the dysfunction in what she's saying. They understand that it's wrong and they don't want to hear it. That is nothing that anybody else has done. That is all on her. Those are her words. Um, I think people do see that. And she's the one who's going to continue it. Like, she's digging her own, you know. Um, she's backing herself up into a corner. Nobody else is. And a lot of times, if you give people enough, you know, they'll do it. They'll back themselves right up in that corner and they want to blame everybody else for it. But it's your words out there that are driving people away. Now, those who would agree with some of the things that have been stated, those are not people that I want to surround myself with anyways. So there's no loss for me there. And, you know, I'll say this too, and you might agree with this, Charlie girl, I don't know. I gotta think you would. In no way, shape, or form do we think we are better than or superior or sitting on our high horse because we're calling out pedos. No way. It has
Correct.
nothing to do with that.
No. Not at all.
And I do agree with calling them out. I do agree with calling out bad behavior. But I think there is there seems to be a little fine line here. And this is new. You know, this is a new venture that, we've started on with, hey, calling this out and stuff like that. And we have learned along the way there's bumps in the road, and maybe it should have been handled a different way, or, this should have been done differently, or whatever. Hindsight's always 2020. I think with this situation, I personally said, hold on, I don't want to have to be looking at hindsight 2020.
Right.
So there's that. I am kind of tired of looking at things 2020 going, oh, no, you know what? That should have been handled differently. Could have done something different. But again, that's pulling back, not going on that emotional knee-jerk reaction, and saying, hold on, how can we look at this at all? You do have to look at all sides on this,
Right.
whether you like, whether you like it or not. For me, logically looking at everything, it's like, hold on, we do need to step back and not just continue to go at somebody. And exposing it is fine. I think, you expose it and you put it out there. And I'll say this, that live was not just about KK that we did over on CJ's channel. It was
No,
about
it was
three
not.
individuals,
Mhm.
three individuals that surround themselves with each other. They can say they're not friends, but they all seem to be together. It is what it is. I don't know. But it was three different people on that. But yet one seems to be the focus.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because we know her better, But
Yeah,
I mean,
but
wrong is wrong is wrong, so that shouldn't matter. But I think that's
yeah,
the reason for the hyper focus on her.
yeah, and that could be, but that's not. Again, pulling back that emotional stance, and I think with the subject matter, you really do need to do that. Yes, it is very emotional, but if we can't stop and go, hold on a second, let's look at this and look at everything and what it is, and being able to call out, quote unquote, fairly. And you can't just go and continue on one person because you know them better.
Right.
If you're going to
Or you
focus
think
on
you
the
do.
bad behaviors, yeah, exactly. If you're going to focus on the bad behaviors, it needs to be the bad behaviors across the board, not just with one particular person. So, yeah, Cinnamon, we don't give a passing, no. I most certainly do not. And there are some pretty messed up things that are out there. There really are. The things that you hear, you're like, what in the world? How can anyone think that way? It is totally, whew, wow. Personally, I don't support any of those. And I'm sure that, somebody would say that, well, if you're not going at KK, you're not going to call this out, then you support this. No, it's not it at all.
Mm-mm.
You have to look at the immediate need, and the immediate need is that she could be in a mental health crisis.
Right.
Her words.
And we're not saying that she is, but we're saying we're not going to, or I'm not going to speak for anybody else. I'm not going to take that chance that,
Exactly.
if she is, and I would contribute to anything that may happen, I'm not willing to do that.
Exactly. And there's just no need for it, Like I had said before, I don't know if you heard me say it, but I had said, I would rather be that person that smiled at someone, not even knowing that it made their day, and said something nice to them unknowingly, right? That you just turn their day around. We all know how that is when you're having a bad day and you're at the store and you're just being, you just wish you were anywhere but there. And somebody says something to you and it just kind of makes you go, oh, okay.
Mhm.
Right. I'd rather be that person than the other person who wants to be a Karen in the store, driving you even further over the edge.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that, So either way, like I said, if you find out later on that there's games being played, then you deal with it then. But the immediate need is that there is a claim that there's a mental health crisis going on, that things have happened to this person, and we just have to take her at her word. And like I
Right.
said, I'm not comfortable going at her.
Well, you can look at it like the court system does. When somebody is on trial or getting ready to go on trial for something, if they're exhibiting signs that there may be some type of mental issue going on, that those proceedings stop and that person is evaluated and made sure that they are capable of understanding what's going on and, able to proceed. It's the same difference. You got to look
Yeah.
at and look, anytime that happens, people that are victims or people that have gone through something similar, they get pissed. They don't want, because they know that person, or in their mind they think that person has done what they're being accused of, and so it's hard to accept that somebody might just be using that for, to take the focus off of the real problem. But that it has to be done.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, if it's found out that it's, a game that she's playing, then it's game on,
Mhm.
because this is not a subject matter you use as a game. This is, in my opinion, and like you said, it's not for any of us to make that judgment call.
Mm-mm.
So, that's where I stand with that. So, somebody wants to send messages that, they're not going to be on my channel, they're not going to be on my panel, blah, 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 blah. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. If that's how because I don't agree with you, I'm okay. And I'm not asking you to agree with me. Just respect where I sit with the decision and where I sit with
Mhm.
my mind and my thought process.
Yeah.
Ink said she's sitting on go. She won't mind all. That's true. So if we get the word go, we can go.
Right.
Hey, that's cool. Because then you have even more to go on. Is not only did you say those things, but then you use this as a game. And that's a lot of dysfunction there too. So I really hope that she isn't using this um, as a game. It's nope.
Purple has a question.
Oh, what's that?
She says, "So what are your thoughts on what KK is doing to others' mental health?"
Oh, it's messed up too. It is. You shouldn't. I think it's wrong across the board, Purple. I do. Um, However, in the same token, we cannot control what KK does. We can only control our actions to what she does, our response to it. Um, will I jump on that train with her and start going at people? No, absolutely not. Um, and I understand what she's doing. But you know what? People need to walk away. If it's getting to your mental health, what she's doing, you need to walk away. Don't tune into her. Don't listen to her. Um, she's going to have to answer for what she's doing on that. And like I said, I don't want to have to answer for. I try not to crush somebody mentally. That's just not really my game. I'm all for the banter, the funny banter back and forth on YouTube and this, that, and the other, and whatever, but the serious stuff like this, it's like, we really do need to step back and say, hold on a second, if she can't do that, that's on her. I don't know what else to say about that. You probably should ask her that. Ask her what, she's worried about. Everybody needs to be worried about her mental health, but she doesn't care what she's doing to anyone else. That's a KK question.
Yeah. In no way are we saying anything that she's done or said is okay.
Oh no, absolutely not.
But in her situation, I think it has to be dealt with in a different way. And the different way, I don't know what that is because I'm not a psychologist or anything.
No,
You know.
I think that she does need help though. Yeah, I would, my opinion, if she was my loved one that was sitting in front of me, I'd be like, come on, we need to go find somebody for you. If I was feeling that kind of way, I'd be like, hey, I need some help here. Yeah, and that's, like I said, if she's being, if anyone out there on the YouTube is being harmful to someone like that, to the degree where they're really messing with the mental health, then step away. Because I got a feeling she's not going to stop.
Mm-mm. And we are just people on behind a keyboard. There's nothing we can do about it.
No, we're not going to change her.
Mm-mm.
So there is that. And like I said, if other people want to have at it, then that's on you, boo. You do you. And there's nothing. I'm not sitting here telling somebody not to. I'm just telling you where I sit with it, what I'm comfortable with. And I think that's okay. We just have to respect that we all have difference of opinions on it, and it's okay. The moment that we can't respect each other's thoughts and opinions and how they're going to react and how they're going to deal with the situation, we need to really step back and go, wait a second, hold on. What's the issue here? And that's all I'm asking for is just to, have a little respect for that when I say I don't want to be a part of that. And I don't, like I said, you find out she's playing games, let's roll.
You hear me typing?
Uh-uh.
Okay, good.
Oh, Little Devil. Yeah, I said that earlier. I don't know what happened to her. All I know is like the brief skim down that she put out on her live. I don't know her whole story. Not my place to say whether it's true or not or what happened. That's on her. Whatever did happen to her, I'm sorry. No one should have to go through anything close to what she's talking about. And like I said, I would really hope that somebody wasn't making things up to try to get away with something. But at this point, like we said multiple times, we can't go on the fact that we think it may be a game. You just have to take her at what she said. She's had some traumatic incidences that have happened in her life, and those incidences that happen to all of us mold us into who we are, and we all process it differently. We deal with it differently. We react differently. It's um, we could have the same exact thing happen, and one person can walk away and seemingly be okay, and the other person walks away and is just totally crushed. You know what I mean? Um, and it's okay. It's just everybody handles things differently. Oh, that back button got you. Back button got you. Okay. That means. There you go, Charlie girl. Hey, True Smiles. I don't know. I'm missing chat here. See some. Yeah, Ink, that's true. Because I thought that was interesting when read in chat. You decided not to address or anything because I worked last night and I came home, I was asleep. I was out cold, and then you just saying you couldn't do it, da 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 da. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's exactly the same process that I had, same thoughts I had. So, Jenna, you still there? And she's traveling. She's on the road, so she may have lost service, but she's still up there. Oh, there you are. You are. You got anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, like I said, I won't go at KK. I don't agree with what she says. We're not. I can't say if she has a mental problem or not.
Yeah.
That's really all I could say.
Yeah. And I think that's just kind of where some of us stand on it. And like I said, it's okay if people stand differently on it. It's fine. I'm not going to judge or hate somebody because they do. It is what it is. You just got to have that respect that people do view it differently. Should have left. Yeah, she tried to leave me in the dust. Look, gonna try, didn't you? You tried to leave me in the dust.
No. I went to the store. Luckily, I didn't lose service.
I know. So I was like, well, she's still up here. So, but yeah, I'm gonna end it because my kiddos are coming home.
All right, I'll jump down. Sorry, I wasn't much up today.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're good. You're good. And I know it's a short live, but like I said, the kiddos are coming home, and I've got to get dinner on the table and get ready for work.
Well, I love you.
Okay, I love you too.
Are you down in chat?
All right. All right. Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us. And like I said, this is just a quick live and just a whole mental health issue thing. I've been doing a lot of thinking about it today. Yeah, but just try to respect everybody's opinions on it. And I know it's hard sometimes. But just respect where I stand with it, and where others may have a difference of opinion. It's okay. It's okay for us to do us, and we're all individuals, and that's what it is. So you guys have a great day and great evening. It's heading into dinner time here. And love you guys, and we will catch y'all later.